What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel for another video. We've got another clutch hatching. This time though, getting a little weird up in here, and definitely didn't expect these results. Check this out. Okay, before I show you what's so weird about this, we're going to talk about this clutch. Super zebra female that I produced a few years ago, paired with a male normal jungle male, unrelated. When you do that type of pairing, everything passed on from the female genetics wise is going to be carrying the zebra trait. And the male not having any sort of morph to him isn't going to pass any sort of morph on. So every baby in this clutch should be a zebra, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Until they started hatching. Those are super zebras. And there's 4 of them. That's not supposed to be there. That doesn't make sense. So why is this happening? A little something we like to call parthenogenesis. So parthenogenesis is simply when the offspring are half clones of the female. The dad essentially didn't contribute any genetics to those parthenogenic occurring animals, but then the zebras in there are 50-50 of mom and dad's genetics. So this clutch is partially a parthenogenic clutch. So some of these babies are parthenogens, some of them are not. Now they're obviously still in the eggs, but what we're going to do is I'm going to manually pip all of the ones who haven't come out or showed any signs, just to see what's going on in there and get a tally. You'll notice that there were some dead moldy eggs in there. I would imagine those were also parthenogens. A lot of the time when you get partho clutches, they tend to come with a lot of slugs, very low fertility, and the parthenogens that do survive oftentimes have little issues, don't live as long, or are just a little different. Some of them are perfectly normal, but no way to tell. So let's take a look. Okay, so see what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs look like they've gone bad. I bet you those are parthenogens. I'm not going to open them and find out because they're messy and gross and smelly. Look at that. It's another super zebra. So this is a parthenogen. No pattern. I don't know if it's healthy or not. It looks like it might not be. If so, wouldn't surprise me. So like I said, genetically, everything that isn't a zebra is unusual. Everything in this should statistically just come out as a zebra. There's a zebra. See? Lots of busyness, black and white pattern. That's what's expected. There's another zebra, as expected. Now the zebras are not parthenogens. As I said, those should be offspring with genetics contributed by both parents. There's another zebra. Ooh, pretty. Very nice. Barnaby, are you supervising? All right. So This guy needs a little help here. You poked your head out and now you can't get it back in. Don't worry, I'll save you. Don't worry, I'm not hurting this little baby. I'll simply cut through eggshell there. Now I'm just going to help figure this out. Come here, kid. You're making a bad first impression on your first day, let me tell you. Okay, I think we got it. There you go. Right back in there. All right, so we know this is a zebra, 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 partho super, partho super. What was this one before we went back in? Partho super. Zebra. Partho super. Partho super. Zebra. That is a zebra. All right, now for the last two, because obviously dead, not messing with them. So if we are correct, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Of these 11, we've got 5 partho super zebras, if I remember correctly. Look at that, another partho super zebra. So we have 6 zebras and 6 parthenogenic supers. That's wild. I was not expecting to see any super zebras for at least another season. Oh my goodness. Another partho super that looks like it's got a lot of yolk to go. Might have some issues. Yeah, we've got some kinking already. Not surprised. Supers have that on their own without being partho. So, okay. The tally is 6 normal zebras, 7 parthenogenic supers, and of those 7, it will remain to be seen in what condition, status, and health they are. So, we're gonna let them be and do the thing, and they'll come out when they come out. So that was pretty wild. So that clutch started out with 17 eggs. We lost 4 of them throughout the incubation process. Now that I'm seeing that there are some parthenogens in there, again, like I said before, it makes sense that those 4 eggs would probably have also been parthenogens that just were weaker and didn't make it. When you're already taking a homozygous expression of a mutation that needs to be outcrossed, ideally, to get some stronger genes, and then it's basically cloning itself, you're getting a lot of homozygosity. So of those 7 parthenogens, we'll see how they come out. Hopefully they're healthy, but we did see one that already has a pretty good knuckle in the spine. So that's the unfortunate side effect with some of these genetics that are a little bit too inbred in their history. So hopefully in the next day or so, those babies will crawl out and we'll be able to take a closer look at the ones that make it out. And if there are any that have issues and can't come out, we'll be able to see that too. But on the discussion of parthenogens, I wanted to confirm my suspicions. So I reached out to Dr. Warren Booth of Boa Booth and the Boas podcast, and so much more. Obviously, he's a research affiliate and works at a university and does a lot of other things, but he's very, very well researched and specializes in genetics and DNA research and stuff like that. So I reached out to him and said, I believe this is parthenogenesis. Would you agree? And he said yes. So we're going to collect some sheds from all the parthenogens and the adults and eventually send them out to Warren so he can use them for some research and other study down the line. But we got to get them out of the eggs and happy and healthy first. So pretty neat to see. Hopefully I'll be able to just pick the camera up in the next 24 hours and show you what we're working with. But while we wait for those guys to come out, why don't we take a look at the parents, because they're exceptional. So this right here is the male from the pairing. He is the father to the zebras, those parthenogen supers. They don't have a dad, sorry to say. But this guy is a stunning, beautiful, banded, highly tipped, very colorful, clean, gorgeous, wily jungle carpet python, produced by Owen McIntyre of Rogue Reptiles. And even though he doesn't talk to me anymore, still gonna give him his flowers on this animal. The snake is phenomenal and is a stud breeder and has never looked better. So he's the dad. Those zebras, if they're gonna take on any of his color, are gonna be beautiful. So really looking forward to seeing those guys crawl out, what the gender ratio is, and eventually watching them grow and color up as they start to age and get established on food. It's one of the most exciting parts about raising up baby jungles, is getting to watch them change and grow. So we're gonna put this guy back. Let's take a look at mom. Okay, here is mom, mother of the clutch. This is a super zebra female that I produced, I want to say 6, maybe 7 years ago. And I've named her Black Dahlia because one of my favorite bands, and she has jet black eyes, which is pretty metal, pretty unusual for them too. Normally you can at least see the iris and pupil and stuff, but I love super zebras. She's even got like a little light paradox blush there, but she did well. She gave me your first clutch, paired very well. She has a perfect tail too, by the way. I'm gonna promote that about her till I can't any longer. They are known for having kink tails. Not this girl. It's functional. She uses it, as you can see. And yeah, so we'll see if any of the resulting parthenogens have kink tails or not. Obviously we saw that one with the kink spine, so odds are good they will all have some sort of a little bit of that defect to their tail. But she's looking great. Been back on food for the last few months. Went right back onto food. She's a ferocious eater, so never had any doubts. But I love this snake. Produced her myself. It was a goal of mine to produce an animal like this years ago. When I first got into carpets and first started learning about the mutations, I knew I needed to have a super zebra one day. Now I've got 7 more. Wasn't expecting that. All right, so we're gonna let her go back and relax. It's almost nighttime for her. And we pick the camera back up when those babies are crawling out of the egg and give them a closer look and see what we're working with. Got a baby bin all prepped, moist, few layers of paper towel, water, a couple hides. That's what they're all going to kind of grow up in for the first week or so. Now obviously, get the elephant out of the room here, the other elephant out of the room. These moldy eggs are not going to hatch. Those babies probably passed early on, and I believe that those would likely be parthenogens. That is absolutely amazing. Here, let's see if I can bring this. Beautiful, beautiful zebra. Do this without causing chaos. Oof. Here's an unfortunate side effect. We got some kinking going on here. That is going to be a problem for this little baby. That does happen with the zebra mutation. Normally it's the super zebras, but occasionally you might see it with the heterozygous form, the single gene. Here's another beautiful zebra. Nice and perfect. Really clean, busy pinstriping going on. A big, healthy, robust zebra here. Very nice. This one's really pretty as well. Let's take a look at you. Looking good. Looking good. No kinking. Some beautiful sort of ocelot looking markings to you. Here, funky. Very pretty. Very pretty. Alright, and this should be the last zebra in the bunch. Because I already counted these before I turned the camera on. And I know what we're working with. So here's another beautiful zebra. This one has that sort of negative dorsal stripe that I really love. Might have to keep you. You're pretty funky. I like that. That's cool. All right. Now for the weirdness. The super zebras that shouldn't be. This one, dead in the egg, fully kinked out. Didn't expect it to come out. Looks like, I think this entire cluster, everybody has come out of their eggs. Oh, we got another dead super in there. All right, so everybody that is gonna hatch has hatched, it appears. So we have one super zebra right here, a partho super zebra that has some spinal kinking deformity here and there, and I honestly expect that, considering these are parthos in a super zebra that's already, like, you know, in dire need of some outcrossing. So that's not surprising. And this one here, everything looks good until you get to the tail. And this is more typical of super zebras to have some sort of a bad tail kink. They do sort of straighten out over time, especially in like something like that. But this little nub here likely will cause issues in the very first shed. And will warrant some attention. And what can be done with that is just some simple minor surgery, a little lance that end off, cauterize it, stop the bleeding, and then it never deals with that again. And obviously, if you're not comfortable, don't do it on your own. Have a vet do that. All right, so how many have we put away? Oop, 2. Here's another super zebra that has a bit of a fold here. You can see it's like a fish hook there. That might not need any attention. That might straighten out on its own too. And then otherwise, this animal has a nice full belly of egg yolk. I don't see any other spinal issues. I don't feel anything. So this Partho super zebra seems pretty good, all things considered. All right, now this is the part I'm really excited about, because I've already taken a look at these. This one and this one both have perfect tails. No kinking, no nothing. Neither of them have spinal issues. They're both perfect, just like mom. Let's see, we got normal colored eyes, normal colored eyes. So that's the only difference, is mom has black eyes, and I still have no idea why. But the neat thing is we've got two very energetic and healthy parthenogenic super zebras right here with perfect tails. It just doesn't make any sense, but here we are. I really I don't know what to tell you other than this happened. All right, so what do you think about those little aliens? Those are pretty weird. How many of you didn't know that the double copied super zebra gene was completely patternless? Pretty sweet, right? So naturally, if I were doing like a zebra to zebra pairing, I'd get a portion of normal jungles, zebras, and then a couple super zebras. And even in a normal outcross, relatively unrelated zebra to zebra pairing, those supers are likely to have some sort of kinking issues, at least in the tail. We run the gamut in this clutch. We've got two that, are going to be special needs and may not make it, especially with that one zebra has pretty bad sort of corkscrew going on at the end of its tail. Those could impact their quality of life, ability to shed, eat, defecate, all of those things that are essential. And if that's not doable, then they shouldn't be allowed to suffer. So I'll be keeping them and keeping an eye on those to make decisions accordingly. That one super zebra that has that nice little clean fish hook, I'm going to see how that first shed goes, and if it all goes well and doesn't need any attention and that animal gets established and feeding and all that good stuff, then probably make it available with the full disclosure that a lot of the times parthenogenic snakes don't live as long. That is not entirely always the case. I have worked with Brazilian rainbow boas that were 16 years old that were parthenogenically produced from their mother. So not all of them are doomed to a life of truncated existence. So I don't want anybody to worry about that. However, I will probably discount them. And then hopefully the shed test results from Dr. Booth will in fact confirm the parthenogens in the clutch. So it started with 17 eggs. 4 eggs did not make it, and then as you saw, 2 of those supers were dead in the egg. Not surprised, considering we're talking about a homozygous expression of a mutation that requires a little bit of inbreeding, at least in the initial phase, and we've doubled it down with the parthenogenesis, which is obviously not intended. That was an accident, but what can you do? So the fact that we've got looks like 3 probably super healthy supers that won't need any intervention, it's very unique. So those 2 super zebras with the perfect tails are definitely not going anywhere. They're staying here. Very excited to have those on deck. And yeah, I will keep you appraised of their journey with me over the years, obviously. And hopefully they make a splash as maybe the world's first parthenogenically produced super zebras, for whatever that's worth. Although, no way for me to verify that, but pretty cool nonetheless. So with that, this video is getting a little long, but a lot of things to check out, a lot of stuff to explore. So pretty excited about that, as you can tell. I'll be picking up the camera again after this one. We're going to take a look at some of the hognose and maybe some of my Pomona pickups next. I did come home with a few animals. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So give my sponsor some love, Reptile Husbandry Designs. If you need any 3D printed perching, reptile accessories for your snakes or anything like that, check them out. Use code RR10 at checkout to get you a 10% off discount. If you're doing any shipping this season, please give my folks some love over at Reptiles Express. They've got all the shipping supplies you need. Get your labels, supplies, heat packs, cryo packs, everything. And if you continuously ship with them, you get a greater discount the more you spend. And I'm going to save you some money right off the bat with code Riley50. It's going to get you 50% off of up to 10 labels per customer. So save you some money on those expensive FedEx rates that are only climbing these days. Slash that stuff in half. Start your savings early. With that savings, I want you to go get a USARK and USARK Florida membership. If you are not already a member, the greater the membership, the bigger the influence. They are the only group of folks working on keeping any unjust, sort of sneaky, reptile-aimed legislation off the books and making sure that we as a community are represented. So they support us. The least we can do is support them. Speaking of support, if you like what we got going on here, and I want to be appraised of babies and all the happenings of this stuff early, my patrons get to know all this stuff well ahead of time. We're in a Discord. They get discounts on merch. They've got access to a lot of stuff exclusively before the public does. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, come find us on Patreon. Riley Jimison on patreon.com. Love to have you there. It's a great community. It's growing. And there are a lot of awesome people. So with that, I'm going to leave you on this one. Hope I didn't blow your minds too much. If I did, sorry for the mess on your ceiling and walls. I didn't know it was going to happen. How wild is that? Pretty crazy. So, all right. That was neat. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you on the next one.